Ah, thirsty work this. Now, what was it you were asking? Do I believe in the demons that they say the Kantari unleashed on the old empire? Well, look around you, my friend. He waves his hand in a circle, but you sense he isn't simply talking about the end, that his gesture encompasses the entirety of the fallen empire. What do you see, friend? Ruins, destruction, the rotting carcass of the greatest empire ever to grace this world? What mere mortal force could have brought that down? No, the stories must be true. Only demons could have done such a thing. And leave. Okay, so we learned much more about the some of the lore because it really just didn't tell you much at the very, very beginning. Interesting. I mean, interested to find out who the Kantari are, and I like the idea of these three high lords or whatever. Who else? Oh, there's an alchemist over here. Let's go talk to the alchemist. You see a man in his 40s. At first glance, it seems as though he stares at you unfalteringly, but then you realize that he has a glass eye. His face and hands are covered with burn scars, and unless you're mistaken, he's missing a couple fingers on his left hand. Never seen a real alchemist before? Asked the man, his voice raspy and rough. What do you want? I'd like to learn about alchemy. I can show you the basics, the rest is up to you. To create an alchemical compound, you need a base item, be it a plant or another compound. If you know what to do with it, you can turn it into something useful. With me so far? Yes, please continue. You can throw in another reagent to modify or change the original recipe completely. You can add only one reagent to a formula, so choose wisely and all that. Now let me go over 8 basic techniques. We'll start with healing, so listen carefully. The alchemist goes on as if he really expects you to remember all that. Can I heal myself during a fight? How exactly do you picture that? You think you can simply take a break in the middle of a fight and ask your new friends who are hell-bent on hacking you to pieces to wait while you put some balm on your wounds? That's a good point. Where can I get more reagents? You can buy them from any alchemist or find them on your own if you keep your eyes open. I can sell you a good starter kit if you're interested. 50 coins ought to cover it. Oh, yeah, okay, I'll do that. Good luck, says the alchemist, giving you a bag of reagents. Awesome. Okay. So there's my weapon. Okay. Oh, shield bash. You can push opponent one high. Okay. Was it? No, that's my character screen. Oh, I have 12. That's right, I have the 12 skill points I can spend. On, what do I want? On, let's make sure I've got a little bit more in the way of fighting. I'm going to give myself a bit more. Well, I am using a shield. Let's add that to shield. And I think I want a bit more streetwise. Like so. And I'll say, and then save those. Okay. And so it must have been not that, but this. Yeah, this. Alright, so he's giving me these reagents. The belt bag. Why that's different than this inventory. But, okay, so alchemy. Blood mushrooms. These are base reagents. That's a modifier reagent. Base reagent. Base. Modifier. Modifier. Oh, and I see then it describes. This extends. So let's look at the base ones. So Cador leaves is a poison. Deep red mushrooms. That gives a man neither dreams nor drunkenness. But rage, okay, that's for raging. And cassava root. Oh, that's for healing. So if I take some cassava root, I put that there. So that gives me a healing salve. This would give me a berserk potion. I'm guessing this is going to be poison. Yes, that's a poison vial. So if I put that there, and then this can fortify healings of other plants. So this would... I need 3 points in alchemy to create that. That doesn't do anything. And that doesn't do anything. Let's create one healing salve. Is that experience? Oh, I don't know. Okay. Well, whatever. I've got a healing salve. That's the important part. I'm assuming healing salves you can use in battle. So, let's talk to the innkeeper before I talk to Cassius. Need a room. Do you have time for a few questions? Yes. What do you think of Lord Antidus? Great man. The town's blossomed under his new wise rule. We are very grateful to have him. Okay. Can you... You can tell that to his lord... I'm not... Of course not. What am I saying? It's a perfectly normal question. People ask me that all the time, and I always tell them what a great man Lord Antidus is. You can tell that to his lordship. Okay, that's kind of funny, actually. What can you tell me about House Duraton? It's the noblest house, ray of light and utter darkness. I was sure to mention that. What about House Aurelian? Controls Madoran, the largest and richest city that dwarfs both Teron and Ganazar. No matter what they tell you, Cato, size does matter. Okay. What does Lord Gallius want? What does any lord want? More power. He doesn't want to be restricted by his peers, nor does he want to put up with the Imperial Guards. He wants them to bend their knee to him. All of them. Teron, Ganazar, Kertor. That sounds Gaelic. Now, some might say that Gallius does a fine job running Madoran, and that maybe we should let him run the rest, but that's not going to happen. At least not without a major bloodletting. Okay. What's about the prospectors? What there's to tell, as long as artifacts fetch top coins, people will continue digging through ruins and praying for a lucky break. Unfortunately, there aren't many options today, not in the towns. If you can hold a sword, you join the guards and spend the next 20 years fighting. If you can't, you work for a pittance or go scavenging. What can you find in the ruins? These days, not much. Everything of value was stripped clean centuries ago. But you know what fools are like. They hope to find something that's been overlooked, and the stories don't help. Stories? You know, the usual tales being passed around campfires. Glowing spires, lost cities, caves full of treasures. A few years back, a caravan brought in a man. His legs were broken, and he wasn't making much sense. Probably driven mad by pain and thirst. He claimed that he fell down some shaft in the middle of nowhere. One minute he's walking, and the next he's lying down at the bottom with his legs broken. He saw some passage and crawled through until he hit a metal door. He couldn't open it, so he crawled back and managed to climb out somehow. The caravan picked him up a few days later. When he told the story, some fools decided to drop everything and head out into the wasteland. Of course, they didn't find a shaft or a magic door, but they did run into some raiders on their way back. 4 men ended up dead because some fool told them a story. Okay. What happened to the man? He died a few months later. Not much use for a man with broken legs, is there? That's grim. Why are there so few towns? Why do you think? Many were destroyed during the war, and many were destroyed after when the infighting began. Every now and then people head out in a futile attempt to try to start a new life. Some last a few weeks. Others, if they pick the right spot, last a few decades. Sooner or later, they all fail. Why? It's not easy out there. They say the land is dead, the air is poisonous, and water is scarce. If that doesn't kill you, the raiders would. How do the raiders survive? They know the land better. They know where to find water and which areas to stay away from. Not to mention that raiding is easier than breaking your back all day trying to get something to grow under the scorching sun. Do you think it will ever get better? We're heading into the opposite direction at the moment. It looks like Lord Antidus and Gallius have some unfinished business, and I don't see anything good coming out of it in the near future. Not that I don't support our Lord wholeheartedly, I do. He tells me to fight, I go and fight. No questions asked. You're full of optimism. No kidding. I run the inn. I see people coming and going, but I don't see them bringing good news. These are hard times, Cato. The only folks full of optimism around here are Meru's freaks. The Imperial Guards are the Imperial Guards are starting to get on my nerves with all this talk about restoring the Empire. As if it was that fucking easy. It's not a broken bowl. The Empire is gone, and talking about the good old days won't bring it back. Even if we all agree that restoring is the most sensible option there is, it won't bring it back. I tell you, nothing's more dangerous than a fool who wants to make the world a better place. What about Meru's freaks? They talk all kinds of crazy shit. Apparently, Meru no longer calls himself a lord. He's the first acolyte now. God sent him a prophet because one lunatic clearly wasn't enough. So now there are two of them. Fools are buying it, and many take it upon themselves to carry the message out. They say that they are running out of crosses in Madorn. The more they crucify, the more they come. What's your take on it? My take is that the worst is yet to come. The day Meru gives them swords instead of speeches is the day Madorn falls. And when it does... I think that's all I had. Oh, hearing anything interesting. Same shit, different days. Shrugs the innkeeper. Okay. I think we can talk to Cassius now. Hello, Cassius. 42-year-old lore master Cassius, contemptuously called young Cassius by his gray-haired colleagues, has never understood the appeal of digging through dirt and ruins like a rat. Instead, he preferred to spend his time among neatly preserved scrolls, studying the work of many prominent lore masters of the antiquity, and hundreds of accompanying commentaries he considered indispensable. Master Cassius was working on his second tractate, analyzing manifestations of the divine will in year 4052, when Titus and emissaries invited him to Teron. Cassius arrived early, and was getting tired of waiting when you showed up and graced him with your attention. Is there something you want? Lord and Titus sent me to follow, lure him to an abandoned house, lure him to Lord and Titus. We're going to actually keep Cassius, I think. I don't trust Feng. So I think we're going to take him to Lord and Titus. Master Cassius, says Delar. Welcome to Teron. I'll take you to Lord and Titus in a moment. You gain a new insight, which can be used to increase your skills. 6 skill points gained. House Didoratan's reputation increased, and loyalty increased. Wait. I have a task for you, says Delar. One of the caravan masters reported seeing a small group of Aurelian legionaries escorting a man. Take 2 men with you and bring him here. I'd like to know who he is and what he's doing skulking around in our backyard. I will intercept the group. Alright. There's a praetor. You know the area well, and it doesn't... Oh, I see. It's giving me this thing, I think, because I'm a praetor. You know the area well, and it doesn't take you long to find the Aurelian men slowly moving through the unfamiliar wilderness. The group is small, a praetor, and 3 legionnaires. 2 of them wounded, followed by a limping man in robes. You wait for them to approach. Raiders, explained the praetor, too tired for courtesies. The bastards ambushed us. Who's your friend? I'm Sorab, says the robe man. The accent of speech betrays his Bactrian origin. So Bactrian, okay, so Bactria is, if I remember right, Bactria is kind of where, like, eastern Iran and into Afghanistan, or it's just in Afghanistan. Alexander the Great went to Bactria, but it's from that area. Bactrian origin. The lore master, I serve Lord Galeus. He will be most grateful for our assistance. The way he says Lord Galeus shows that he expects nothing but instant obedience and servitude. You'll have to come with us, or at a success. If you'd honor us with a brief visit as guests of House Duratan, I'll see that no harm comes to you. You have my word. Yeah, absolutely. Very well. My men and I will accompany Master Sorab to Teron. Return to Delar. Well done, Cato. I assume that Sarab was heading for the old ruins. The Raelians have set up a camp there a while ago. Looks like they did find something worth looking at. So now what? Now Master Sarab will enjoy the hospitality of our torture chambers. Oh, come on. They aren't as sophisticated as Gaelis' dungeons, but I'm sure they'll get the job done. Let me talk to him first. If you think that you can trust what he'll tell you, talk to Sarab. I feel bad that I gave him my word that he wouldn't be bothered. I'm a lore master, says Sarab over and over again, frustrated that nobody's able to grasp this simple fact and let him go. I'm not interested in the affairs of men. I'm interested in machines. Can't you explain that to him? I'm afraid it's more complicated than that. What machines were you going to fix? An ore smelter, if the descriptions can be trusted. As you can see, there's no cause for alarm here, so if you would... Okay, so how do I make it work again? And we both know that Gaelius wouldn't waste his men on an ore smelter. There has to be more to it. That's intelligence. Success. Then you know more than I do. Okay, so persuasion. If it's just a fancy old smelter, we'll blow it up and be done with it. If it's something more interesting, I think it's in your best interest to give us a good reason to keep it safe and sound. Or lore success, except I don't know the right mantra. Give it to me and you'll be treated like an honored guest while I take a closer look at the smelter. So I already lied about that. So it looks like, okay, so lore success, that means that's an assured success, I think. I'm guessing here. But persuasion is in white, so which means I think it's like I have a chance that I'll persuade him properly. I'm going to go with the lore success. Or I'll chop off your fingers and you'll never touch another machine in your life. Or persuasion will blow it up and be done. That's side of persuasion. How should I know? I haven't seen the machine yet. Damn. Okay. How to go? He's all yours. You don't have to wait long. Delar returns less than an hour later and gives you a blood-stained scroll. He told us the mantra the moment he saw the instruments. Of course, we had to make sure he told us the truth. Take a look. Can you handle it? So I have Word of Honor increased. I mean, I guess. You get a new insight, which can be used to increase your skills. 24 skill points gained. Lore, I think so. Yeah, lore. Then let's deal with these runes once and for all. And while you're out there skulking in the wilderness, take a look at the raiders' camp. Okay. You missed it? A few days ago, a raider walked in and started making demands, claiming that his gang has captured a lord. We didn't take the bastards seriously and used them for target practice. And then it turned out that Tiberius, that useless tit, is really missing. But it was too late. So take a look at the camp, will you? If it's something you can handle alone, by all means do it. We have too many problems as it is, and having one less thing to worry about will help us out a lot. What can you tell me about the mining camp? Not much. Ruins are everywhere, but we don't have enough money and people to look under every stone. A few weeks ago, House Aurelian set up a camp there and started digging. They may have something there, something we don't know about, or they have nothing and are just waiting for us to give them an excuse to attack Teron. Where do they get their supplies? Good question. They aren't too far from Madoran to be supplied regularly. They're too far from Madoran to be supplied regularly, and they aren't used to living off the land. Ask around, see what you can find. We'll do. Okay. I don't know what the Word of Honor means, but let's look at all this stuff. So, here we go. Word of Honor. So, general reputation. Word of Honor measures how well you keep your word once it's given. Some people might trust you more if your word is your bond. And I also have some loyalty and some peacemaker. Okay. Makes sense. So this, I don't think, has changed very much. So I have 32 points. I have no... Yeah. So I have 32 points to spend. Let's increase our lore. Maybe a little bit. So now I'm a journeyman. Let's also increase our... let's increase our... I can increase 2 of the 10 things. Let's increase persuasion. And I want to be super etiquette. So we'll increase etiquette as well. Okay. That is done. So, I'm thinking what... Alright, I'm thinking maybe we are going to call it for the night here before I go off to the thingy. The mining thing. So Shantytown, world map. Oh, see now here I have... That's the bandit camp. That's the mining outpost I can now go to. Okay, so I'm going to call it here for the night. Save my game. Save. Kato. 1, yes. That lets me do it by character. So, Kato 1. Save. I will try to play some more of this over the weekend and load up some more videos. And look, I'm going to look a bit more into it. I'm going to read a couple reviews to try to get a better idea. I don't want to spoil anything because I rather like... I'm kind of liking it so far. It's a little odd, I would say, the gameplay when it comes to the way it just sort of jumps you from conversation to conversation. Now, the only interesting thing about that I kind of like, actually, is that many times I find with these games, like, go talk to this guy, go talk to this guy. Like, when you're in town and you're being told to go talk to people, you're wasting a lot of time just running around, you know? And it'd be more it would be kind of nice to have just jumped to the next person you need to talk to further the storyline. Now it would have been nice maybe to let me actually explore the town a bit more, I suppose. But I think that'll probably come in later. And so ultimately, I like the system. That's lost. Okay, we'll talk to him when I get back. I like it. Because it can get quite tedious just running around. So I guess the only real critique I have at the moment is the graphics are, I don't know, for a game that's just come out, I don't see why they couldn't have been better. I mean... They're all right, especially, I mean, for an isometric game, they're all right, but it's less the character models. It's more the, like, the building models and the backdrop stuff. I mean, I would have liked to have seen, since it is background stuff, just a little higher quality, maybe. I mean, and also consistency. I mean, like, that's kind of okay. And the door, but then you get something like that, and what the hell's that? I mean, I don't know. I think it could have used a bit more consistency in these graphics for the setting, but I know maybe it will get we'll see how it goes. In any case, I will call it for the night. Thank you all for joining, and I will see you next time.